Do we want like a running commentary of how we're oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey everyone, what's going on? I am Ali Paterson. Welcome to the Fintech Fire Round. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter spices. And today we are joined by Neil Harris, a man who chases perfection so he can catch excellence when it comes to payments. He has a champion of financial inclusion. Basically, you're a bit of a legend in payments, what with GPS, the Inclusion Foundation and beyond. Thank you for joining us today in this virtual studio. Usually, I want to do this kind of face-to-face. Bit tricky at the moment with the lockdown. How are you doing, Neil? How are you feeling?
All good, mate. Yeah, thanks for the invitation. A little bit anxious. It's staring at some of the bottles in front of me. Progressively hotter and spicier. But yeah, really looking forward to it, mate. Really looking forward to spending a bit of time with you to discuss all things payments and fintech.
Brilliant, excellent. Well, first of all, I just want to quickly knock down your LinkedIn, because you're the group CCO at GPS, chairman of the Inclusion Foundation, and co-founder at Beyond. What have I missed? Or is that?
That's pretty much it. I'm also the deputy chair at the Emerging Payments Association, which is a real privilege to work alongside some of the leading minds in fintech and the emerging payments. So that's chaired by Marion King at RBS at NatWest. And you know, safe to say there's an awful lot going on in the industry at the moment. And the thing that the EPA does, not only do they kind of connect people and teach them to collaborate in order to win, but also they are the voice of our industry as well. So yeah, really proud to be part of that group of people.
Absolutely, but you're not wearing the classic EPA very colourful Tony Craddock shirt.
No, only Tony can pull that one off, mate. I'm no match for Tony.
Brilliant, excellent. Well, let's start with the Cholula.
Are you pouring straight on, or are you dipping?
I'm going to pour straight on.
For this, Ali.
I'm going to pour straight on like that.
With the foot. There we go. All right. Oh wow. Yes, I may have overindulged on that one. So here we go. Bottoms up.
That's all right. Well, so last year you won the Industry Contributor of the Year at the 2020 EPA Awards, which ties into what we were talking about earlier around the EPA. First of all, congratulations. I've got a lot of time for the EPA Awards because this may sound quite rude, but I feel you can't buy an EPA award for all the best one in the world. It seemed very, very. There's no funny business, so it's a real award. Let's talk a little bit about your nomination. Absolutely. How would you look back at everything in your career to get to the point where you won that EPA award, especially with all of the work that you've been doing within emerging payments?
Yeah, so in terms of how did I get there, do you know what? I was approached by a friend in the industry who wanted to put me forward, and that's Ampus Skellen, who co-founded the foundation with me. And it was a real journey actually going through the past in terms of LinkedIn does a fine job in terms of cataloguing where you've been and what you've done to a degree, but actually when you talk about purpose and how you've actually helped people or helped develop a business, actually it was I've never done that before. I'm always writing about somebody else or writing about our customers and focusing on them, so it was actually quite a peculiar process to go through, but it was without kind of sprinkling the ego too much, it actually was really quite cathartic. It was quite cool, so we went right back to the days of starting my career in payments, stuff that I did at Bottom Line Technologies, and then leaving there to co-found Access Pay, which today is one of the leading sort of fast payments, direct debit and Swift gateways based in the UK. And then from there, did some consultancy gigs back at Bottom Line, and then got approached by GPS, and haven't really looked back. Actually finding GPS has really been kind of coming back home almost. It's a big enough company to have that global reach and the aspiration and the real sort of courage to challenge the day-to-day and the status quo, but equally it's small enough to really understand their customers, understand what their value is within the current landscape. So really, really proud of everything we've achieved at GPS. And then through my time at GPS, again, through the really the support of Joanne and the board at GPS, co-founded both the foundation, which is something that I'm really passionate about in terms of, inclusivity, financial inclusivity, making sure that those individuals who aren't as, who are in difficult situations are actually helped. And, there's a spearhead to signpost the best products and services for them. And then on beyond as well, with the next generation of, Fintech Launchpad, which is an amazing success story journey. And actually looking back over the last kind of few years has been almost felt, mate, to be honest, if I needed to retire at this point. It was one of those things where you kind of look at it and you go, crikey, actually, there's an awful lot there, and I've been blessed with the people that I've been surrounded by as well. So made a lot of great industry colleagues, but mainly friends as well on that journey.
Excellent. So next up, Ghost Pepper and Blueberry. I love it. I love the two of them together. Just
by taking the cellophane stuff off of the bottles, I then rubbed the side of not my eye, but the side of my face, and it started, like, you could literally feel the tingling. So
good Lord.
Looking forward to I'm not sure if that was this one or if it was the Megadeth, but let's see.
Well, what I want to talk about for question 2, 2020, what a hell of a year for fintech. We've got to talk a little bit about in terms of partnerships and also where we are now. We've got to talk about Wirecard. Right, let's have some of this Blueberry, Ghost Pepper and Blueberry first.
Cheers, mate. That's stepping up.
Yeah. I'm so bad at this. I kind of also want to bite some more chicken.
It's all right. It's all right, but that's stepping up.
Let's talk about GPS. How did you navigate? Because I've heard some incredible stories of the likes of, one of my favorite. I keep having to say one of my favorite fintechs, but you know what, they are my favorite fintech. I love Curve. You did some great work with Curve with the whole Wirecard situation. Tell me about that. How did you guys at GPS navigate those waters of what is going to one day make an incredible movie?
Yeah, I tell you what. We had the problem was we had Curve times 50, all at the same time, and that was part of the challenge. So actually, part of the Wirecard kind of fallout, 8 of our customers, including Curve, went to or accelerated their position in terms of going self-issued, which is a phenomenal feat, really, considering how instrumental Wirecard were within the payments landscape and the process. I think what Curve specifically achieved, because they didn't just have the BIN sponsorship side, they also had the acquiring side that they had to get sorted as well in a very, very short space of time. So there were 2 organisations, Curve and one other, that we basically ported over a weekend. That was an exceptional feat. It was, things were already in play in terms of there was an appetite from certain organisations to move to a self-issue mode, so that those conversations had already started. But in terms of actually lifting, shifting over a weekend at very, very short notice was an exceptional feat. This is where, I think what it talks about is the expertise within our organisation. We communicate well, we discuss with our customers where they're going, what they want to do, and then we get it done. So there's that was exceptional, and it was accelerated. It's not something that we would run towards, but the fact that there was no disruption from our perspective or from Curve's to the cardholder, it was, it's a remarkable feat. So kudos to all of the teams. But as I say, we did that several times over. We had about 20% of the customers went to a self-issue mode. The rest of the 80 went to various issuers. So it wasn't just they didn't just go to one BIN sponsor. there were several bin sponsors. There was over half a dozen bin sponsors that were reported across to, and every single bin sponsor has a slightly different need in terms of their reporting and how they want to handle it. So that was a hell of a feat over a very short space of time.
With that in mind, like I want to, so obviously Wirecard, major shake up of the industry. You guys, God knows how many bin migrations in a very short space of time. I mean, I kind of feel you probably have learned a lot from that. Let's wind back the clock for our third one. 100% pain.
I'm going to give it a bit of a shake because there's a big blob at the top.
So with that in mind, in terms of adversity, I would probably say without you guys at GPS, there wouldn't really be anywhere near the kind of fintech scene there is in the UK. Like Monzo, Starling, Curve, like all of the kind of the usual suspects were all using you. And there was one point in 2000, I think it was 2017 or 18, and there were a couple of outages. And then a few weeks later, there were a couple of other outages. And everyone seemed to blame you guys, rightly or wrongly. How did you get yourself to the point? Because I don't think you've had an outage, as far as I'm aware, for like years. How did you stop that kind of thing happening again? But just answer that when you've had a bit of 100%. 100% pain is not a good brand name.
It's not really a message I want to put in my mouth.
Yeah. All right, okay, there's a fair bit on there.
Do we want like a running commentary of how we're? Oh yeah, that one. It's not so much. It's not the heat. It's the taste. It's the acidic taste.
It's kind of like you feel it kind of going in like that. Oh, that's
Oh, that didn't help. No, that didn't help at all.
How did you stop? Yourself stop get because there was a period everyone was blaming GPS. It's like, oh, we've had an outage. It's from a third-party provider. Yada yada yada. And now you kind of seem to have gone, we're not letting anyone do this to us again. We're going to be absolutely solid as a rock. How did you get to that part there?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how it's triggered, whether it's the customer, whether it's GPS and the processor, whether it's the scheme, outages happen. Our learning around the 2017 incident, as well as the other incidents with specific customers, it's how you deal with it that's actually really important. I think there is this thing within the fintech community when it was immature and people were still finding their feet and they had investors on their backs that they needed to point the finger somewhere. That's definitely the case. But we weren't guiltless. We also were a fintech, and we've learned and we've grown. But what I can say is that as an organisation, we take our responsibility really, really seriously in terms of the uptime. We power and have powered 11 unicorns.
Can I just pause you for a sec there? Because what you just said, like out of context, is a pure soundbite. But in context, like if you then look at kind of the evidence, it's a soundbite with actual weight behind it. Because when was the last time that you guys actually were responsible for something like my adorable curve going down? Like, I don't think it's been years. Like, as you said, 2017.
Yeah, and mate, it's because we've invested enormously. We took that 2017 turning point as a real landmark in our evolution, and we decided together as an executive and as a board, that's not happening on our watch. I was relatively new into the business actually. The 2017 was pre my time, but we were still enjoying the fallout. But what I can say is, we take responsibility really seriously. We've evolved the platform in every single way. The network, the software, the hardware, the team. The team has grown over 400% since I joined just 3 years ago. We are deploying, our local teams so that we have a global platform, but we can deliver it locally. And we're really, really committed to that, as we expand globally, we don't lose that customer interaction, the specifics from the market, speaking to our customers. So we've really invested heavily. We've widened the service to kind of go a little bit more techy. We've evolved the platform from really a monolith platform into a multi-tenanted, segregated.
You can feel that.
And it's really hitting now. Yeah, like a multi-tenanted, segregated, and fully virtualized system. We've introduced microservices and applications that we can run in a container mode, which basically means that we can actively manage and throttle capacity on a per customer basis, which means that we can spin up new instances at will. So for, whoa, I've lost my voice. That's it, it's gone. Oh, that was funny. I went proper, proper Mickey Mouse then.
That's not good, right?
Yeah, well, that one, that's going in the reject bin. I didn't quite like that one.
Next up, we've got
the bomb, mate.
The bomb.
I'm nervous about this one.
This is Beyond Insanity. This is 135,000 Scovilles. Last time I saw you pop up on social media, you were in Dubai, and then before that, you were in Singapore.
Yeah.
Let's get some of this on the wing here. I want to talk about that global element because I imagine let's go for this first of all. Oh no!
I went light on that one.
I did as well. Oh, for God's sake! Tell me about oh no! Tell me about the global expansion. Where else are you heading towards?
Oh my God, that stuff is horrible.
Yeah. Oh. Right. I want to know about this world domination map of where you need to get to, where's next, where you don't want to go to, and where you need to go to, but you got to really punch above your weight to be victorious.
So where are we going? So we've got the office in Singapore, Sydney. That's our centre of excellence across the Southeast Asia marketplace. So we've already secured 2 digital banks in Hong Kong, a couple of digital banks in Japan. We've from there as well, we've got digital banks obviously in Singapore, in Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand, and those projects are actually going amazingly well. One of the key things is because we're delivering the service locally from the Singapore office, all the issues around timeframes and time zone differences and stuff just have evaporated. We're still, we had one of our projects recently in Japan. They went live in 8 weeks from signature, which was phenomenal considering that there were also language difficulties. None of our team speak Japanese, so we. You're
good at languages.
Yeah, not like French, mate. Not Japanese. But luckily, we all speak payments, so we were. That was just a phenomenal success story, and the customer and the scheme involved as well, because it was a strategic account for the scheme. Equally, often that is equally a pressure point for us to make sure it goes well. It went so smoothly, considering some of the challenges ahead. So Southeast Asia is kind of where we've got our centre of excellence in Southeast Asia. Obviously, we've got our European centre of excellence already, but we are expanding that. That's going to be expanding about 40% in the next 2.5 years, which again is speaks to our investment in ourselves, in our customers, in our future. So there's a real focusing on the UK and Europe teams as well. And then the most recent sort of team to join the GPS family is in the Middle East. So we have our new Dubai office, which was opened in December of last year. That was despite a whole bunch of complexities around obviously the COVID environment, but also it's actually pretty tough to set up a business in the Middle East. We've done an exceptional job in scaling sensibly We're not boiling the ocean. We're not trying to go to every country of serving every proposition under the sun. We're being very laser focused on what's going to be the best for us as an organisation, what's going to be the best for our customers, and obviously for our shareholders as well. So, that's a real win for us in terms of making sure that not only are we focusing in on those areas where there's real opportunity to have purpose and make a difference, but also where there's profitability and opportunity as well. So we've been super laser focused there, and again, a phrase that we use internally is scaling sensibly, which means basically you don't try and bite off more than you can chew. And we are turning down, trust me, we are turning down more business than we ever have done as an organisation, purely because are we looking at Latin America? Do we have opportunity there? Of course we do. Are we going to do that next year? No, we're not. We're going to remain laser focused on our core centres of excellence. Mounting that core centre of excellence based out of Dubai for the Middle East region, and from Dubai, we've already set about having local instances in region as well from a technology platform perspective. So yeah, that's another reason why the cloud is really front and center of from a roadmap and strategic direction perspective.
Just very quickly, your favorite customer?
Oh, come on.
Next up is Blair's Megadeth.
I'm not going to lie, Ali. I'm really nervous about this one, mate. Oh my word!
Just as
I love the branding on this. Megadeth with liquid rage, but you want to feel alive. I mean,
I think look at that though. A nice little keyring comes with it as well.
Yeah, thanks for the memento, mate. I'll.
All right. So just for context, we want to talk about financial inclusion, which is a wonderfully broad topic. I want to talk about the niches at both ends of the scale, because I've seen some of the cool stuff that you guys have been doing for the likes of, your A-list celebrities. Very niche. That is kind of a form of financial inclusion. Then on the flip side, do you think, first of all, we're ever going to get to a point where everyone has a level of financial inclusion based on their means? And how quickly can we try? I've been reading a lot of Trekonomics. It's a great book, highly recommend it. How can fintech help get us there? Let's go for it.
That one hasn't hit me half as bad as the other one.
Here it comes. Oh, here it comes. This is not good for me.
So, honestly, that one has not hit half as bad as the bomb. That is the stuff you guys want to watch. So, financial inclusivity. And for me, it's about inclusivity, not financial inclusion. So I'll explain why. Financial inclusion is the fact that they've got access. Financial inclusivity is the fact that not only do they have access, oh yeah, it's hitting now, it's coming. Not only do they have access, they've got access to something that you or I would use, or anyone would use. So inclusivity, financial inclusivity is the message. We need financial inclusivity within the marketplace. So you're right. I mean, we've got some, I can't name the people who are using it, but they're A-listers. We've got, high net worth programs, which is a form of
name a movie at least. Name a movie that gives it away.
I'll be back when when this bloody chili sauce gets over. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a number of A-listers that use it. I won't start singing Celine Dion at you, but he won't be drowning in chili sauce, put it that way. But fundamentally, we've got these programs that are for higher individuals. the products and services are totally customized and personalized, hyper personalized, you could say. And the cards that they put around are, solid gold. They are pieces of jewelry. I mean, they've got diamonds encrusted, sapphires, pearls, the lot. They're absolutely stunning. So, we've got from that end of the spectrum right through to, organizations that are powering, the financial inclusivity message for those people who cannot get regular bank accounts in the mainstream. And unfortunately, with our, with there's 1.23 million people unbanked in the UK today. That
still blows my mind. Like every time I come across that, I kind of think, and by the way, that figure, that's kind of people over the age of 16 as well. So that kind of takes out the kids out the equation. That's a really right. Big figure.
It's crazy. And, and then when you look further into the numbers where it's like 13 million households are basically running very, very lean in normal speed. So, if they had if their washing machine broke, they wouldn't be able to afford to fix it. So that there's unfortunately, with the kind of the current economic climate, we're running at 5-6% unemployment today. That's expected this year to go up to between 9 and 13%. And that means that more people are going to be in vulnerable situations. More people who were paying their mortgages and were included will find themselves in financial difficulty more than ever before. And, they'll be in vulnerable situations. They will find themselves out of the mainstream. And so they will have to rely on non-mainstream lending, non-mainstream financial services. And I think that's where fintech really has a role. It has almost like a responsibility. It's a duty of care. And everyone that I speak to in the fintech community, that's the one thing that really, that's the ever-ready power cell of fintech, is that people give a damn. We have fun. We aim to improve lives, and that's not kind of from a sanctimonious kind of way. It can sound
very Silicon Valley. That's the yeah. We're making the world a better place through faster payments. No, we're not, but we are trying to. I say you are trying to give people what they deserve, what they should be able to get.
Exactly right. And that's the thing. It is really it comes down to a human right, to be able to, why should people pay more because they don't have a bank account? Like why is there a poverty premium that's, depending on which study you read, it's either 800 quid a year or 1,300, but it's still, it's there, it exists. And the challenge with it is as well, with those people who need the support, need the access, who are in vulnerable situations, they've often, they're relying on government to help them. They want to, as my mate Steve Rounds says, people want a hand up, not a hand out. They just want a hand up in the situation that they're presented with. And with the social welfare reform that the government's trying to push through with universal credit, and it's all about access, it's all about choice, it's all about democratizing the choice of where I get my healthcare, where I get my where I can spend my benefit payments, how I spend my benefit payments. And the reality is, until we are in a position to include those individuals, we can't move forward holistically.
Excellent, very, very well said. Well, Neil, thank you so much for joining us for this today.
This one made my eyes stream, and I was so close to rubbing them, but no. Absolutely. Beyond insanity. There we go.
Brilliant. Well, Neil, thank you so much. Where is best to find out more about yourself?
About myself is LinkedIn. About the Inclusion Foundation is theinclusionfoundation.org. About GPS, it's globalprocessingservices.com. And about Beyond is b-yond.co.
Thank you very much, Neil Harris, ladies and gentlemen.
My mouth is proper numb though. It is burning, like proper burning.